What's going on, family? Dave Jones here, and I wanted to jump on. And I am coming up with a 4-day challenge here soon, and it's about self-identity, discovering who you are. But before I do that, I wanted to set up my marketing and sales funnels, and I'm sitting here practicing what I will be giving away as a what you call a freebie. And essentially it's the webinar, and it's a valuable lesson in which I am going to teach about the 4 things that you have to get control of and that you possess right now that can help you to build your passion or to start that business or whatever you're trying to do to get you to the next version. So it's specifically directed to people who are stuck and they have a certain passion and a grind, but they just can't get out of stuck. And so I wanted to start practicing teaching it that particular lesson. And so I just wanted to just jump on here live, uncut, just to get the thoughts out my head, because I really think it's valuable. And I'm sure if you take a look at this, you can take advantage of this. All right. So essentially, it's like if you're gifted and you are ambitious. So you're gifted, you're ambitious, and you're an underachiever. There are 4 things that you possess right now that will instantly get you unstuck, removing all of those negative thought patterns, those life draining concepts in your head that's stopping your progress. And a lot of times our mind is just disorganized. So there's 4 things that you have. Number one, actually, it's I use acronyms for everything, and it's team, TEAM. So we can remember this. So you have to bring your team or build your team. So the first thing that you possess that you have to get control over is your time. Your time is literally, if you define it, is the oxygen of opportunity. It is the thing that we possess, that we all possess equally across the board. And if you know how to use your time, you can multiply it to produce the things that you need in life. So the problem is many times, especially for me, was I going through a season of my life when I wasn't producing and I wasn't doing the best that I can. And I'm even still working on developing and maximize the use of time. There was a lot of time that I would waste and wasting it on things that brought no value. Well, if time is the most important thing that we possess, it has to create for us. Um, and when we're not using it create for us, we're simply wasting it. So when you properly understand time, however you are using it right now, I can tell you what your priority is in life. I can tell you what's the most important thing to you in life, whether it's your job, whether it's fantasy football, whether it's social media, whatever you are using your time on is your priority. It is, and priority is defined as the most absolute most important thing over everything else in the world. And so when you do a self audit, you have to say, well, if I'm not using my time for the thing that I want to create or to become what I wish I was, then I honestly don't care about it, because we all have control of our time. Even if your subject in our schedules are really, really tight, every ounce of extra time where we think we should relax, the moment that we can control ourselves to target our time and to use that time to create something, the moment that we'll begin to transition to the new version of ourselves and use it to get us out of stuff. Most times we're using our time as to worry. We're using our time in distractions. We're using our time in something that is not profitable. And so we have to learn how to prioritize our time, and that's called self-control. And this is one of the things that I help my clients with. It's really when you get yourself to a position that you can have deadlines, and not only deadlines that are attached to a calendar, but you use your time with deadlines, but there's some form of accountability. At this particular time, I have to present this to this person. So that means I can use my time properly because it's targeted to something that is in line with what I'm trying to create. And so time is the first part of the team that you need to build what you're producing or to help you get out of unstuck. Well, number 2 is effort. Effort is where you actually well, let me help you how it's defined. Effort is defined as a vigorous and determined attempt where we show up to execute, where we show up to actually do the physical work with our hands, right? With our legs, with our mouth, like where we are using our bodies to produce or create something. And that's the effort. And the moment that we are in a position that we can use our hands, our mouth, our feet, in a consistent manner, that means we've created some form of plan of action. Can I take the efforts of my body, and can I place it in a plan or a process or a system or a routine or a regimen that I show up at this time all the time, over and over, so that I can produce an adaptation or mastery in that area, where I can create the thing that I see, whatever business you see, whatever grind that you see, whatever passion that you have. What am I physically doing? Do I have self-control to use my body like it needs to be used, or the opportunity to use it like it needs to be used, right? And so if we have milestones that are set in front of us, and we have a vision or a picture of what we're producing, we can see the progression of success physically and tangibly already in the earth. It's where we begin to manifest the vision that's in our mind. Right. And so, again, this is a whole concept about self-control. You own your own effort. A lot of our effort is spent in emotions and negative emotions, right? We're using our energy upset and angry or full of anxiety because we see doubt behind, or we see dread in front of us to the thing that we want. And so we figure whatever we want to produce, it won't work. That even when you actually know it'll work, if something inside of you says it won't work, and so you dread it. Right. And so our energy is stuck in anxiety as opposed to anticipation. So how are you using your physical effort? How are you using your energy? And once we get control of our effort and our energy, that is the thing that is going to allow us to actually build the thing that is there. Number 3, that is attention. Your attention is the most valuable asset. That's something that you need to write down. Attention is the asset, period. Why? Because whatever you are aware of, you become. You can only be what you are aware of. So when our attention is like fractured or distracted, there is no way for our mind to creatively form or to draw to us the pieces of what we're building. And so if you're building a business, right? If my mind is distracted on things that are outside what I'm building, then I don't have the ability to attract those things. So in other words, I'm not able to even focus to see when there's things right in my hand or right in front of me that help me build the puzzle of the business that I'm trying to create. So there will be people that come into your life that we will overlook them because we're not attentive to hearing what it is or how they can help me to build or solve a problem for other people. So you have to put yourself in an attentive state. Let me see here. There's okay. So when we're talking about attention, we're talking about trying not to be attracted. See, here's a problem. So most time in our attention, you hear this term, attention deficit disorder. So we have a deficit of the ability to pay attention to something. And with a deficit disorder, then there's no way to create what we need to produce. So we have to figure out a way to get control of our time, because that is the thing that, again, that causes us to attract to us what is necessary to produce. I had another thought that I was going to go with that, but it kind of lost me. Let me find my spot. All right. So long story short, it is your awareness. And if you don't have, and if you're not focused on anything, that means we're easily attracted. Here it is, to distraction. If I don't have control of my attention span, right? I need to write that down. That's good. If I can't control the time of my attention, then there's no way for me really to solve my own problems or to connect the dots. I had a story where actually, I taught a lesson, um, to where when I said, imagine that you had a 1,000-piece puzzle. And there's this 1,000-piece puzzle, And when you have a 1,000-piece puzzle, usually it shows you what it is. So imagine before I showed you what it is, I crumbled it up, right? Then I put it in a bowl, and I said, okay, here, put it together. It would be 100 times more difficult for you to formulate this picture of this image, because why? You never seen it. So even when you're looking, or you're even looking for God to help show you from your prayers to help you make your life better, you haven't given yourself an image of what you want to create. So there's no imagination going on about the thing that you are trying to build. So we don't necessarily know what we want. And when you don't know what exactly you're trying to build, even if you already own the business, there is no clear picture of who you want to be, what problem you want to solve. And so it's difficult for you to give your attention to the things that help you solve that problem, because we don't have the image clear. We probably are just get caught up in the work, or doing the work, or the lack of doing the work, because we lost focus on what we're trying to build. And so when your attention is not on what you're trying to build, it's difficult for you to see what's already in front of you. And so that means we will be attracted to distractions. That means that anything that is outside of us that looks entertaining or will sedate us from our own anxiety, we're drawn to it. So whether we're watching TV all the time, whether we're listening to gossip all the time, whether we're talking about people and their problems, we're attracted to that stuff because we don't have attention enough to prioritize the thing that we're building. So, but you own your attention. But can you control your attention? And so this is the battle where you have to be helped to help control your attention. If you can't get a hold of it, then you have to figure out ways to acquire it. But you own it. And whatever you pay attention to long enough and often enough, you become. Period. You become or you build. Whatever it is. If you want a good relationship, you pay attention to it, to the point that you see or you look for ways to solve the problem. Right. And so, all right, so let me move on, because I don't want to teach there too long. So we got to get control of our attention. Then the last one, material resources. You own the things that you possess already in your hand. Everything that's in your bank account, everything that's in your house, whether it be a camera, whether it be some clothes or whatever, you got access to material things that you own right now that'll get you to the next level. But it's how do I leverage what I have right now to get me to the next level? So we have to figure out what is my leveraging capacity. Like, if I have money, how can I make this, how can I leverage this money to solve the next piece of the puzzle, to solve the next problem? Right? How do I graduate or matriculate to the next level of where I'm trying to go? If I am stuck, how do I use my money to get me to one step up, not all the way to the end, but what am I doing with my money? Am I wasting my money on things that are not valuable or bringing a return? The old Robert Kiyosaki, this is the lesson I learned. I read this book in college that was given to me by my dad. It was actually my junior year. I was literally paid $100,000 to go to private college. I have an honors econ degree. But with that $100,000 that I spent, I learned more from this one book than all of my college education. And the name of the book was Rich Dad Poor Dad. But in it, it taught the most valuable lesson. It's assets versus liabilities. Assets are things that bring you money, that you buy. Liabilities are things that take money from you. So how can I use the money that I currently have, instead of purchasing liabilities or things that are wasteful or don't bring a return to get me unstuck? How do I purchase assets? How do I purchase something that I know will help me get one step up? That's all we need to do. We need to get one step. We don't jump from where we are to where we're trying to go. And that's the dream that's been sold. We take where we are, take our money, take our resources, whatever we have in our hand right now that we possess, we own it. How do we control it enough not to waste it on liabilities, but to go from this step to the next step? That's literally all we're trying to do. And so how do you know what you use how do you know what to leverage your money on? How do you know what to leverage your resources on? You have to have that ability to see what's the next step for you. And this is what most successful people have learned how to do. And so instead of saying where their issues are, where is the opportunity? How can I use my resources to get there? All right. So that's your team. Do you have control over your own team? Do you have control over your time, right? What is your priority? How are you valuing it? How are you using it? Do you have control of your effort? How are you using your body? When you want to do something, does your body tell you something different? well, then we have to get control of your body. Attention, again, the ability to focus on something long enough and often enough is the absolute reality of how you're going to produce it. And then lastly, what are we using that is in our hand, our material resources to graduate us to the next level? Do it. Now, if you're stuck and you use these 4 components, you will be able to use it to leverage you, to give yourself a push to get out. Now, here's the thing. Some of us, like I was not able to do this on my own because I had baked a behavior, sorry, baked a behavior of second guessing, of being idle, right? And building negative routines with my time and my effort and negative emotions. And so I created this loop. Now, the blessing that I have is I had the ability to see process. And so I could see what was going on. Even though I could control it, I didn't have self-control. I could still document it. My whole mission is to have always wanted to, as I got out of this, I documented the process and I created this framework that I said, I'm literally going to go get everybody that felt like this, everybody that I know that is going through this, which I know is most people, and I'm going to help them get out of stuck, because it's a place that is literally full of pain. And it wasn't about capability, because many of you who know me personally know I produce very well in my life and my upbringing, but I think I went through this season of my life because I was looking for the best move. I was extra ambitious. This is what I'm calling those who are gifted and ambitious. And I had big dreams. And so I got a little too distracted with too many different things and not able to focus on anything. And so this distraction has caused me to slow down and then eventually second guess. I'll tell you that story at another time. Long story short, so as I built this framework, the most important thing, I'm going to add an S to this team, right? So it's your teams. So you can bring your teams, right? That is self-identity. It's the first part of it. A lot of us, I did not know who I was or who I wanted to be, is a better statement. So do you know who you are by name, like one word, title, right? What are you as an individual? What problem are you solving? Right? Because the only way that you can produce or build a business is you have to solve a problem. You have to relieve a pain or you have to provide pleasure. So what problem are you solving, and who is the person that solves that problem? For me, I am a coach. I'm a business strategist. Right. And so now I'm in a season of creating these courses and things that help people systematically get out of this place called stuck by this framework. Self-identity is number one. So I created this challenge again that I'm going to start on September 13th. You can look for more details later, but on September 13th, 2022, for whoever sees this, and it's going to be a 4-day challenge where I'm going to help you get unstuck and walk you through the process of self-identity. Because if you don't know who you are, there's no way that you can be committed to staying consistent and walk in that direction as you become or master that skill set, which is going to provide resources in return as you solve other people's problems. And so this is what's going to give you that push that you need, that you can even coach yourself to stay committed to what you're doing. So use your team. You have to bring your team to the game, your time, your effort, your attention, your material resources, and then you have to know who you are. And then it's wheels up. It's wheels up. It's wheels up. So if you need help identifying or need help with self-identity, I am doing this 4-day challenge, and you need to walk away with a decision of who you are going to be for the next decade of your life. Right? You're going to make that imperfect decision, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to take you through that. And then so we're going to be with you an hour a day, and then we're going to move to what we are, like what we are as a mechanism. This part of is the confidence builder. Like, how are you mechanistically designed, right? If we understand that how we're made, we can leverage our own self, the gifts, the abilities that we have, in order to create this thing that's in our mind. So it's literally a transformation. It's transformative thinking. And we're going to use this information to displace what's already in there. And then we're going to give you the tools that you can use to create this. What a beautiful place to know who you are. I think a lot of us are stuck because we don't know who we are. And if we think we know who we are, we're not sold on it. And this is why we're not moving. At least one of the issues that we're not moving. All right. So love you guys. Hope that helped you. You can reach out to me here, and this is on YouTube, so you can reach out in the comments, or yeah, and then I'll connect with you if you want to get signed up for this challenge. I'm still creating the material, this sales material, and so I'll eventually get it out to you guys soon. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.